healing is something we all want to engage in. From my own experience in life, I have gathered a set of questions that I have tried to answer. Today, I will read to you some of those questions, and I hope you can relate to some of those, and they help you on your own healing journey. These come from different stages of my life, or as I like to call it, different phases and different parts of my journey. How do I start healing when everything feels broken? I think we all reach moments in life where everything feels just like it's fallen apart. Maybe it's the loss of someone we love, a job we cared about, a relationship, or even just a quiet erosion of hope over time. When everything feels broken, even the idea of healing can seem almost impossible. But healing doesn't start with grand gestures. It starts quietly, often invisibly, with the smallest decision to pause and acknowledge that something hurts. When you're in pieces, the first gentle step is not trying to fix anything. It's to sit with yourself and say, "This is where I am, and that's okay." Not pretending to be fine. No trying to rush through the pain. Just honesty. That's where the real healing begins. When we stop running from our pain and start tending to it. Think of it like this. If you break a bone, you don't walk on it like nothing happened. You rest. You protect it. You give it time. Emotional healing deserves the same care. A little practice. Each evening, just ask yourself, what hurt today? And then think of what helped. Write it down or speak it out loud to yourself. You will start to notice patterns, what you need more of and what you need less of. That's the beginning of rebuilding. Healing isn't about going back to who you were before. It's about becoming someone new, someone shaped not in spite of the cracks, but because of them. Can I really heal from something that happened so long ago? That's a question many of us carry in silence. Something happened years ago, a betrayal, a trauma, a decision you wish you could take back. And you wonder, shouldn't I be over this by now? Here's the truth that no one tells you enough. Pain doesn't walk on a schedule. Just because something happened a decade ago doesn't mean it stopped shaping your heart the day after. Some wounds go quiet, not because they're healed, but because we have learned to live around them. And that's okay. It's not weakness, it's survival. But survival isn't the same as peace. You absolutely can heal, even it's been years. Sometimes we're only ready to deal with something when we finally feel safe enough to touch it. And that safety may take time to arrive. I can offer something gentle. Pick one memory that still hurts, not to dive in, but just to name it. Write it down. Note how it made you feel, and then write about what you wish something had said to you back then. This isn't about reliving pain. It's about offering your past self the kindness they never received. You don't need to go digging through your entire history. Healing often begins with a whisper, not a scream. One honest moment at a time. So, yes, you can heal, even if it's been a long, long time. The fact that you're even asking, that's your heart knocking on the door of possibility. Why do I feel stuck in my healing journey? Feeling stuck can be the most frustrating part of healing. You've done the journaling, maybe some therapy, meditation, and yet here you are, still carrying the same ache, wondering if you're doing something wrong. Let me just say this. Being stuck doesn't mean you're failing. It often means you have reached a deeper layer of healing, one that asks for more presence, not more pressure. Sometimes we get stuck because we are trying to bypass something hard, like forgiveness or grief or confronting the truth about someone we love. Or maybe we are holding on to a version of healing that looks perfect and neat and linear, when in reality, it's messy, cyclical, and deeply human. There's also this. Healing is not about feeling good all the time. It's about being honest with where you are, even when it's uncomfortable. Try this gentle check-in as often as you need to. Instead of asking, why am I stuck? Ask, what am I resisting right now? You would be amazed how that single question can unlock something. And sometimes what we are resisting is rest. We think we need to be productive in our healing. But maybe, just maybe, your soul needs stillness. Not answers, not movement, just permission to be. You're not stuck. You're just being asked to listen more deeply. How do I know if I'm really healing or just avoiding? That's a really powerful question to ask yourself, because it shows that you're not just trying to feel better, but to really grow. And the line between healing and avoidance, it can be thin, because avoidance often dresses up like progress. We stay busy. We say, I've moved on, even though the hurt still echoes. So how do you tell the difference? Let's start here. If your healing makes you feel lighter, freer to be yourself, even in small ways, that's healing. But if it feels like you're holding your breath, walking on eggshells around certain memories, or constantly distracting yourself to avoid silence, that might be avoidance. Avoidance keeps pain buried. Healing lets pain breathe. A small back practice that could be helpful: find a quiet moment Sit still without distractions and ask yourself, what am I afraid to feel? Write whatever comes up. No judgment, just acknowledgement. Sometimes avoidance isn't conscious. We have learned it as a way to cope, and it served us. But now you get to choose differently. Remember, healing is not a performance. You don't have to look healed to be healing. The fact that you're asking deep questions, that's evidence of growth. You're not avoiding, you're evolving. Is it better to feel whole again? Or is healing just about coping better? This is perhaps the most vulnerable questions of them all. After everything, can I ever feel whole again? Let's start with understanding wholeness a little bit better. Wholeness doesn't mean going back to who you were before the pain. That version of you is gone. And that's not a bad thing. Wholeness is about becoming who you are now, with every scar, every lesson, every ounce of strength you didn't know you had. Healing is not about erasing the hurt. It's about integrating it, holding your past in one hand, your present in the other, and saying, both of these are me. So yes, it is possible to feel whole again. Not in the old way, but in a richer, deeper, more grounded way, in a way that feels honest. A small practice that we could do in this regard. Every week, choose a day. On that day, sit with yourself. Make a list of what I know now because of what I've been through. Even if it's one small thing, like I'm more compassionate, or I notice when others are hurting. These insights are threads. When woven together, they form a new kind of wholeness and show us that we're not just coping, we are transforming. And one day, you will look back and realize you didn't just survive this, you became someone even more beautiful because of it.